What up, guys? So this go around, we're going to work on the bed, taking that apart, getting that coated. We're gonna fiddle around with the gas filler, door thingy in the fender, and if I get my parts in, we'll probably be working on the front end fenders and stuff like that. So let's get into this. All right, guys, so let me swap you around here. I'll show you what we did here for the gas filler tube, and we'll go from there. Okay, here we are. So what I had to do, I didn't show it because it was kind of sketch, and I don't want people to think that it would be okay to do this. So I took this all off, and then what I had to do is I had to notch the frame. But it's right up against the shackle. If you look inside there, there's a support piece, and that bridges from the top to the bottom. So I just went up to that, and then I just kind of cut it off like that, right there. And I did use a cutoff wheel. And of course, being so close to the gas filler, you know, the fumes and all that. So I covered this entire area with my fire blanket for welding, then metal, and then a couple welding gloves over this whole area, just so when I cut this, nothing would spark into here. So I got that, and then I smoothed it all out, and then I just put a piece of the sound deadening on there, just to kind of help, you know, up against that. And then right there, I did a 3-inch hole, well, actually 2 3/4 inch hole, and that'll go right straight through. This is going to stick below the bed. It's going to be tight, but it's going to be below the bed. Maybe I should have, in hindsight, maybe next time, if I do this kind of setup in the back, I'll raise the tank up a little bit more, so this is more a little bit higher, so it kind of makes this. But this is a 45, and of course it's got legs on it on each side. I cut it off. But it comes through, it'll come through, and then right there is my filler neck. Yeah, it's got about I don't know, maybe a 3/16 inch gap right here, but that's okay. You know, to fill it up, says fuel, no problem. And then, of course, you can't see. There we go. And then on the inside, it'll just go right out to there. And then whenever I want to take the bed off, I just have to disconnect. So right here, I'm going to put a coupler in, a 2-inch coupler. So I can just disconnect it from this side of the coupler, and then the bed will lift off without having to, you know, remove all this stuff or whatever. So it's just basically right here. So what I'm going to do is I am going to cover this up like so, just for now, because I am waiting for that coupler, and I'm waiting for another piece of hose that's longer than this, or not longer than this, that can connect from here to the gas lid door. So let me pull this out, swing it around, and then back it in, and then we'll start taking the bed apart. All right, so we got her up in the air. So what we're going to do is we're going to clean up everything in the bottom here, cut as much as that lip out we can, then wire wheel it all, and then we're going to coat it with some stop rust. So we're going to take out this for sure. So that'll be the first thing we do. So let me lower it down a little bit, and then I know this isn't exactly square, but we're probably going to go about there. All right. Let's see how level this is. Yep, we're level. So what we'll do is we'll just draw a line across there. And cue the rain. All right, guys, so now we're gonna fire up the plasma cutter and then just cut that inner lip that's left all through here. Just kind of smooth it up a little, right? Get rid of a lot of that crap. So yeah. All right, guys, so obviously I'm not fixing these little rust holes here and there. You know, it's not what this is. So I wire wheeled it, you know, to knock off all the big rust stuff off there. I trimmed up the little ledge guy right here. I ground it down just so it wouldn't have any sharp edges. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my rust trap. And then I'm just going to stick it in a gun, and I'm just going to coat it all basically from here down. And I'm going to do the tops of these obviously when I do the bottom. But yeah, I'm going to do the fenders, but I'm going to do the fenders when I take them off. You know, like clean all those up and then do that. Yeah. So give me a minute and we'll be right back. I got my air. I want to kind of shoot it straight. Make sure you wear a mask. And anything you don't want covered with overspray, make sure you move it out of the way. Okay, so here we go. All right, guys, so the gun is clean. Make sure you clean it really good. This stuff is like pour 15. You know, it gets on your hands. You're pretty much screwed for about a month. But anyway, so we got it all covered or all coated. Did a little bit get up on the sides of the bed when I did that. Yes, but you got to remember the boards will probably be about an inch thick, so it'll cover that. And really, I mean, let's be honest. That'll probably wear off pretty quick with all the scratching and everything else that I got to do to it. But it looks a lot better. Okay? I did put it on quite thick. You know, but since I'm spraying it, it's just so nice. All right, so let me swap you around here and bring you in. So there we go. So from there down, it's coated. And that looks way more better than just a bunch of ugliness going on there, right? Yeah, okay, there's a hole there. That's okay. Again, that's kind of not what this build is, right? But anyway, it was there. And then we trim that all up nice right there. So I think that's going to be about it for today, because you have to let this stuff sit pretty much overnight. It does cure with moisture, and it's raining today really bad, so it's full of moisture. But anyway, so until the morning, when we get back on this, we'll probably set this back on the truck, and that way I can finish up that, because like I said, I'm waiting for a coupler, and I am waiting for another piece of fuel filler hose. But that takes care of that, and it did go pretty good. And yeah, so we'll see you in the morning. Good morning, guys. So I put the bed back down. It's complete opposite of what I did to take it off. So I backed the truck up underneath, put it down, locked it into place, and it looks amazing. So what I got in yesterday as well was the tires for the front. So as you can see, they're on. I did have them mounted this morning, but there was a suggestion a couple videos ago about opening up the rear arch to match the front. Well, I think I'm going to close in the front to match the rear, because you can see I got my laser level right there, and you can see it up on the thing, and I shot it across. So you know what? Let me just bring you around. Oh, also I got a new microphone, so hopefully this one will be a lot better as far as volume and the crackling, and just a better mic all in general, right? You got to invest in yourself, and that's what I did. So let me bring you around, and I'll show you what we got. So there we are. So we're doing pretty good, my spacing wise here. It does have, I had a cheap set of Amazon spacers that are on there right now. I did have to still use a spacer to bring it out. It's a 2.5-inch spacer. I'm going to get the really nice spacers. So just know that these are just on there for right now. So as you can see, so I'm about level with that wheel arch. So what I did was I took a tracing of this wheel arch, and that is how much space has to be made up. Obviously, I'm not going to change out the fenders. Oh, well, let me show you the other side. You can't really see it, but there's the other side. Okay. So let me put you back up on the stand and kind of explain what I'm going to do here. So obviously this is going to involve cutting up this fender, or at least welding in along this lip right here to kind of get it to come down, right? I do have the wheel arch, and I marked it. I did that the finger thing to get the arch here, and then where's my tape? There's my tape. So this is either going to go really good or really bad. We'll see as we go here. But if we put this right there, no, not quite. Obviously, I'm going to fine tune this once we get it kind of marked up here. Let me see. So we can actually go down a little. You guys probably can't see a thing because my big old back is in the way. There we go. Okay. So here we are. So what I want to do is I want to set this, and I am not opposed to flattening out this fender. You know what I mean? So it's about right there. If we look at the back, that's about right. Right there. There we go. Like that. And like that. So that is about the amount of space I have to make up. Right? So I will probably have to repaint this fender, but that's okay. I mean, it's not like I got $1 million into the paint job. Right there. Like that. Right? Move it back a little bit more. So that's basically the wheel arch where I got to bring it down. So now it's about, hold on a second. So now it's about trying to get the curve, right, of the wheel itself. So if we come into through the back, and if I just trace the back of the wheel as best I can, there. And then we'll come up. Did I get any of that with this other piece of tape back there? I probably did. Okay. So and I think this overall, okay. So it's kind of like it. And all this is the fine-tuning process of trying to get this. So that's a little too close. So let me get over here. And I want to do it while it's on the ground. Not so much, not on the ground. Right? Yeah, no. Nope, 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 nope. Back here just to kind of smooth out that arch. And this is the stuff you guys gotta kind of do. Right? When I put the fenders on, obviously I didn't have the wheels. But it's just metal, right guys? I don't know. All right, guys, so you see the process of what I'm doing here. So instead of recording me trying to think this all through, let me bring it back once I have an idea. Yep, I think that's what I'm going to go with. It just tucks it. It's a little bit lower. I think it's a little bit lower than, yeah. So it's a little bit lower than the back. Well, actually the back is about a 1/2 inch. Yeah, about a 1/2 inch. Whoop. Let me show you. Sorry. So it's about a 1/2 inch lower than the line. See that? Right there. And that's about what the back is about a 1/2 inch. But I'm okay if this is a little bit lower in the front. And the wheel's clear when I turn it. So I think that's what I'm going to go with. I'm going to leave the wire buck there. I will be making it better, meaning like better attached there. And then right here, I got to bring it out. I got to bring it out more, but I don't want to do it right now because it's just barely tacked in there. But I think that'll do it. Now if I have enough metal, which I don't think I do. Yeah, so that's going to be the hard part. I don't think I have enough metal. Maybe. Oh, no, no. I have it. Okay. So I think we're going to stay with that design. I'm going to cut that bottom half down there. So, because that's the natural arc it wants to do. And yeah, so that's 1/8 inch rod. But I'll use that as my base, is what I'm trying to say here. Okay. Well, now that I got it, I can bring it up in the air, pull the tire off, and then start cutting and welding and making it all nice. So let's get into wheel arch building. Why not? This will be fun. Okay, be right back. Okay, guys. So I just figured I would make some framework. So now it's about sheeting that in. All right, guys, so there we are. Now, this right here doesn't look right because it's two different colors. But that, I'm just looking at this arch, right? Yeah, when you look at that arch, it's good. All right, guys, so I got that piece welded in, just tacked all the way around. What I want to do is I want to put the tire back on it, and then see how, if it still turns okay, and see how it looks once it's on the ground. So give me a second here, and let me put the tire on it. Yeah, that looks way more better. Let me see if it hits. Nope, doesn't hit. Well, there we go. I got to smooth this out a little bit right there, but that'll be okay. Very nice. All right, guys, so I think that's going to wrap up today. We did a pretty good job with filling in that piece. Obviously, this isn't the same type of wheel arch in the back, but it's a front tire, so it needs some room to turn, and we have about a ½ inch from here to the tire of turning. Uh, now that I've got this kind of locked in, I will not be lowering it. Yeah, it makes no sense to lower it at this point, because I'm fitting it to the tires with the current suspension on it. So probably what I will be doing is I'll be changing out the shocks, of course, all four corners. I was kind of waiting to do that until we figured out what we were going to do with the tires and the wheel arch and stuff like that. But I think that's going to be great. I'll have to put a lip on that. That's the only thing I still got to do, is put a lip on that, and then maybe I'll smooth this out, like put a little bit of smear of something in there. This right here is all obviously got holes in it. I didn't really want to fix that. I don't know, I kind of like it. A little bit of toughness going on right there, but it's kind of wibbly wobbly. So I may have to fix that. But anyway, so we'll see what we get into tomorrow. As far as if we can finish this up, maybe just throw a little bit of primer on that so it doesn't rust up over the week, and we'll go from there. Good morning, guys. So I've been out here for a little bit, trying to figure out how I'm going to add a lip to this. If I was smart, I would have added a ½ inch on here and rolled it over, but I wasn't thinking. So what I'm going to do is I am going to add a piece of round bar. or not round bar, flat bar, to try to get it, basically to try to get it in place, right? That's kind of what I'm trying to do here. One, it'll give me a little bit more of a lip, you know, obviously in there. And I think it'll just overall be better, right? I just have to get it. This is a big piece. And it's 1/8 inch thick. So I'm trying to do it so it's got a nice curve, right? So that's kind of what I'm working on right now. Trying to get this. So I can just get that tacked so I can get that side in. Because I don't want to tack it in the middle because I need it to move. If that makes sense. So let's just tack it right here. Okay. And then that. Let me put a couple right here. Right there. And then we're just going to walk it all the way down until I get it where I want it. And I think right there. And this is going to give me the perfect arch. Right? Right. You know. I should be wearing a glove for this because it's going to get real hot real quick. There we go. All right. So let me tack this through here. Bring that up a little bit or in. And I think that's going to be perfect. We'll cut this off right here just because we don't need quite that much. All right. So let me get that in there, and that's going to finish off the curve perfectly. And it'll give me a lip on the inside. I like it. All right. Cue the time lapse. All right, guys, so you get the idea. So I'm going to go ahead and weld that all up in there, smooth it all out, and then bring it back. All right, guys, so I got that in. So now we have an inch lip on the inside. I may cut that down. It depends on once we get the tire on there to see if it hits or not, because at this point, I'm not sure. Because it was real close before. I may have to change out the spacer, meaning bring the wheel in a little bit more. But let me pop the tire on here and see if it'll be okay. Be right back. All right, guys. So the rain has died down a little bit. It's been pretty bad here today. Kind of like a monsoon, but that's typical Florida. So there it is. Let me bring you down here and I'll show you how it looks. So there we are. So I took the spacers out. I'm not going to run any spacers. I like it. For me, that's perfect. It's in, so the outer lip or the outer part of the tire is about 4 inches in, and that's fine. And of course, I was sneaky, and I did the other side at the same time. So it's hard to get this side. So anyway, so that side's done too. I didn't put the cap on it, you know, because it's hard to see. So there we go. I like it a lot. So I still have to, I'll probably have to run a bit of maybe some Duraglass or Fiberall right through there just to kind of smooth it up a little bit. And then of course, I got to fix that. So let me swap you around here. So I put it up in the air to finish the gas hose. I got the hose in. But let me show you this lip real quick. So there's the lip all the way and all the way down. So I like that. And being an 1/8 inch thick, that's a strong lip right there. Oh, while I'm here, I'm sorry if it's hard to hear because of the rain, but so right there, goes right through there, and then let me lower the vehicle and I'll show you up top. And there it is from up top. Right through there, that shouldn't be an issue because it sits higher. It sits higher up here than there, this whole pipe or hose, so it should be just fine. We'll find out, but I'm going to get better hardware here. This is all I have for right now, but there we go. Gas. I'm not really left-handed here. Right in there. Perfect. Hopefully that won't jiggle around. But these things are pretty cheap, inexpensive. So if I get another one, but maybe black, but I'm okay with how it is right now. All right, guys, that's going to wrap up this weekend. Like I said, the wheel arches are all in, and that really makes me happy. How it all flows with it now, making up that huge gap right there. I could have never lowered it down to get that wheel arch to where I wanted it to be. And like I said, I'm not going to run any spacers, at least right now I'm not going to. That's in about 4 inches from the outer lip. With my wheel spacers I have, which are 2.5, when you turn the steering wheel, now that it's got that 1 inch by 1/8 inch strap in there for the lip, it just touches it, we'll say. So maybe maybe a 1-inch spacer. You know, I'm not sure yet, but as of right now, she turns good on both sides, no issues. So I'm gonna leave that for now. So probably throughout the week, I'm gonna fix this front half here. I'm gonna smooth all that out so it's a little better, and then probably get it in some of that red primer stuff to get that prepared for painting. Um, because what I want to do is when I paint stuff now, this time around, when I want to do the bed, running boards, and then I'll have to do both the front fenders all at the same time. So that's what we're going to do. So when I first painted the fenders and the cab and stuff, it was a trial run to make sure that I could do it. So I know that I can do it, so I'm good with it. Anyway, again, thanks for coming out here and taking a peek. Just remember, I do have shirts now. They're in my merch store. The link for the store will be in the description. If you guys want to check it out, go check it out. It's just 2 different shirts and 2 different style hats. It's another way to support me, to move along and, you know, help with the build is all it is. Everything that I receive from that is just going to go back into this. So, thanks again, guys, and hey, go out and build something cool, guys. One weekend at a time. Catch you on the next one. Bye.